All right, let's implement drag and drop in Unity. This will be for 2D sprites. So all I've got in the scene are my sprites and box colliders. So make sure they've got box colliders on them or any kind of 2D collider, or they won't detect your mouse clicks. Okay, start by creating a C# script, call it dragger or drag and drop or whatever you want to call it. Open her up. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to hook into the on mouse drag event. And we're basically just going to set our transform position equal to, and we need our mouse position in world coordinates. Okay, so let's create a little function here. It's going to return a vector3 get mouse pos. And we need our camera main. And what we're going to do is we're going to use this helper function called screen to world point. What this is going to do is it's going to take our mouse position in screen space, so the Y and the X, and it's going to convert it into our world space coordinates. Okay, so this function takes in the input.mouse position. Now, because we're using just the 2D plane, and this returns a vector3, what we're going to do is we're going to just zero out our z-axis, okay, or our z-axis, and just return basically a flat vector3. So all we're doing is we're setting every single frame that we're dragging, setting our position to our mouse world position. Now that's should be all you need. Give it a try. And there you go. Easy drag and drop. Now, there's a few things wrong with this. First, you'll notice that when you click it, it snaps to its pivot location. See? So what we need to do is we need to calculate our mouse position on click and determine the offset between the pivot and the mouse position. And then on drag, we need to add that difference so that when we grab it, it should just stay where we grab it on the drag. All right, so let's do that. So what we need to do is get the drag offset when we first click down. So on mouse down, and we'll make a vector3 and we'll call it a drag offset. And we'll set the drag offset to get mouse position. Sorry, transform position minus get mouse position. So it's taking the pivot or the transform of the object, the 0, and we're calculating the mouse and we're removing the mouse position from the pivot location. Okay, and that there is our drag offset. So now that we've got our drag offset, instead of just immediately telling it to set it to the mouse position, we'll set it to the mouse position plus newly gathered drag offset. Show you that. There we go, much nicer. Feels much better. Doesn't have the snapping. A few more things that we can do to improve this script. First, camera.main is a horrible thing to do every single frame. Basically what this is doing is it's searching all of our game objects and it's looking for the object with tag main camera, which is incredibly inefficient. So what we'll do is we'll store a reference to our camera, and then on awake, we'll just grab it the one time. So camera, there we go. So that's basic drag and drop. I will show you just some more fun things that you can add to it. Instead of just directly setting it to the location every single frame, what we can do is we can add a little bit of smoothing to it. Unity makes this easy. They give you a little helper function, move towards, which is effectively just lerping towards the target location every single frame. And what this needs is max distance delta. So how much we would like this to move towards the target location every frame. Okay, so let's create a serialized field here so we can set it in the editor. Make it a float called speed. Give it maybe a default of 10. And then now we want to say speed times time dot delta time. We do this to keep it on the physics update, basically, so that it will react the same on the computer as it would on a phone, regardless of the frame rate. I'll show you this. So they're both set to 10. There you go. We'll set the coin to be a bit more snappy. Oops, a bit more snappy like that. So you can do some fun stuff with it. You could add some trails to it so that it's making like a trail behind it. It'll look a little bit ugly because it won't have a texture, but you get the point. So there you go. There's a quick way to implement drag and drop. If you learned anything, give it a like, maybe subscribe, and stay tuned for more.